Hello and welcome to this edition of the GTAS podcast, aka Guys Talking About Shit, being recorded on Saturday, December 23rd, 2017. I'm joined by the always destructive Adam Miller. And also today we are joined by a new guest all the way from the UK, Nathan Johnson.
Hi, Mum.
So guys, this is the last podcast until Christmas. We are one day away from Christmas Eve. We are doing this the Saturday before. I don't know. Are you in town specifically for Christmas? Are you over here just because of that?
Yeah. I'm here.
What's your purpose for being here?
Well, it's like being back in customs.
Yeah.
So now I've come out for social and pleasure only.
That's how you do it. We don't really get to do that. We don't really venture outside of this country very often. Adam, I don't think. When's the last time you've been out of the country?
I was in Canada last year.
Does that count?
Yeah, I was going to say, does that really?
Canada's like America's hat, so not really.
It's better than being America's beard.
Yeah.
So, we are, since this is the podcast before Christmas, we were Adam kind of thought, I was like, oh, maybe just go through a couple, like, Christmas-related banter before we kind of get into the show. And so one of your topics you were thinking was favorite
Christmas movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one, or are you just expecting to get it from me right off the bat?
I'm going to get shit for it right away, but Tim Allen and the Santa Claus.
Boo!
I love that movie. I don't care.
Do you like the sequels to those movies?
No,
they got really bad.
Really
I actually don't mind the first Santa Claus. I actually have fond memories of it. I used to have it on VHS. I wore the shit out of that thing on. I loved it. Too bad you don't get to hear about that anymore, of wearing out your VHSs.
Yeah.
Well, they just used to get chewed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is a really tasty video. It's gone. It's just gone.
I remember my old VHSs. I'd find, we'd go to like a thrift store and grab a bunch of VHSs there. I remember a good amount. And some of these old... I would watch anything with, like, dinosaurs in them. And that was an easy Christmas gift for me, was just anything dinosaurs. It still is. Wink, wink, Adam. If you want to get me anything with dinosaurs in it.
Get me an inflatable dinosaur suit.
Yeah! Oh, the T-Rex one! Yeah!
Can't clap in it, though.
But, Nathan, do you have a favorite Christmas movie?
Gremlins.
Gremlins is a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Gremlins is pretty good. I probably would have to say Nightmare Before Christmas, even though it's kind of it's one of those that you can enjoy in both holidays, and I'm kind of thinking that would maybe be my...
That's an all year round thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it has become like an all year round.
It's a little bit like Die Hard.
Kind of.
Die Hard's a
Die Hard. Another one that's a lot of people always say, like, Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Batman Returns is totally a Christmas. I think Batman Returns is more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard is, because there are a lot of things all around Christmas. It is really themed with the snow and the music. It's very Christmas-like.
Yeah.
And I think Batman Returns is really, like, underrated.
Yeah.
I think people like it, but I think
people
people treat it like Ghostbusters 2, where they're like, there's nothing really that special about it, because I like Ghostbusters 2. But I know but I don't have this big attachment to the Ghostbuster franchise like everybody else.
Ghostbusters 2 was great. It's all about the ooze. I mean, who would have thought all that ooze running around underneath the ground? So where are all the civil engineers and the that look after these areas? Oh, weirdly, we've got like channels of ooze running underneath. I'm sure it's not sewage because it's moving.
But it is New York.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. Like the myths about there being crocodile men living in the sewers in New York and shit like that.
The ooze is what does it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ninja Turtles, The Secret of the Ooze.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there we go. That's
more ooze in the New York City sewers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
And on today's news.
Yeah. We're going to move on, and so we're going to start off with some game news, and once we got to cover right now, we have the Zelda DLC is the final DLC coming out. We got Psychonauts 2 being delayed until 2019. And we've got Cuphead sales have reached 2 million copies. So, Nathan, are you a Nintendo fan?
No.
No, you're not at all? What is your system of choice? PlayStation?
I like the Amiga.
The Amiga. Jeez, the Amiga. Holy shit. Well, what do you play?
Me? PlayStation.
Mostly
PS4,
PlayStation guy?
PS4, yeah.
You don't play any Xbone?
No.
We can't find anybody who
because
plays
I'm a
an
grown
Xbone.
up.
What does that say about my Nintendo love?
That's like.
Is that different?
It's like you grew up with that. That's like a puppy.
So
like grow up with a puppy. Because let's face it, Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda's the best thing.
Yeah, we actually before we started the show, you were like your second favorite franchise is Zelda.
Yeah.
So, but did you? So I'm guessing that means you haven't played. I'm the only one here that's played Breath of the Wild, I guess.
Yeah, I've not played that.
Oh, okay. Adam didn't either.
No.
But so Breath of the Wild, we did an award show on. Was that our first or second show?
I think it was the second one.
I think it was our second show too. I gave it as my honorable mention out of our top
three games
of the year. As an honorable mention was Breath of the Wild, and so Breath of the Wild's newest DLC, the Ballad Champions Ballad, came out earlier this month, and they announced that it was going to be the final DLC for it, and that they're already just starting to do development for the newest one, which I guess will be a new open world Zelda again. And I have kind of a mixed feeling on that. One, yeah, move on. I mean, I didn't think the DLC packs were that incredible that it wasn't like Horizon Zero Dawn, which Adam and I both gave our GTAS award of the Game of the Year to. It wasn't one of those ones that I needed to jump back in. They were all challenges and trials, and they gave you a motorbike or something like that now. Yeah. So I'm okay with them moving on after this DLC. But my other part that I'm mixed about is that do I want another open world Zelda right after this one? And that's kind of where I'm like,
I kind of like the old school ones.
That's kind of what I'm like.
Like A Link to the Past.
Yeah.
I said this out.
Is that your favourite Zelda?
That's my favourite Zelda, yeah. And I think a lot of the magic from games is they look too much, and we spoke about this earlier on. Yeah. They look too much into the graphical content. Like, it looks spectacular. It's this, but the storyline sucks. You know, and I'm not saying it for like any specific game. I'm just saying in general. Yeah. It doesn't matter what game you play. Yeah. It's like it can be really, 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 really beautiful to watch. You're like, oh yeah, this is great, but it's really short, and there's like gutless story.
The Order.
Yeah, The Order 1886. Fuck you for bringing that up. So
did I ever tell you that I have? Yeah.
He has my copy of The Order. I paid full price for that fucking piece of shit game when it came out. I was so excited, because Nikola Tesla was developing electric weapons to fight werewolves with. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be fucking awesome. I bought it. It was basically Hallway Simulator 2014.
For 4 hours.
It was like a 4-hour game. It was terrible. But yeah, I agree with you. For me, the hierarchy and the importance of game elements is gameplay, story, art design, and then graphical fidelity. Yeah.
Oh, to be honest, though, I'm going to say I think I do agree. I do agree that games have kind of moved on to that point where it's, hey, look how nice this looks, but there's no content to really flesh out the great-looking graphics. I think that 2017 was actually a really good year to actually change that up. I still think that 2017 is one of the best years for games in probably about a decade. I thought it was incredible because I thought Breath of the Wild, while it is amazing looking, its gameplay is great. Horizon Zero Dawn, gorgeous game. Gameplay is great. Cuphead, a gorgeous looking game. I have not played Cuphead, but apparently
I've heard its gameplay is good.
Gameplay is good, and we just are hearing all Mario. I mean, Mario's not gorgeous, but its gameplay is good.
Don't know. Have you seen the princess?
Which princess?
All of them.
Oh, I mean, she's in that wedding gown. I love.
He loves Peach.
I love.
We
Peach.
all like Peach.
But I think 2017 was a great year because it did because look at stuff like the hottest thing like PUBG. It's not a really technically beautiful game, but people love that game and its gameplay.
And it's the gameplay, and that's what should be your number one focus when developing a game. Should be gameplay, and then if it has a story, which it should, your story should be your second focus.
And that's the one thing that's always been about Zelda is that Zelda's pretty much the same archetype story.
Yeah, it's too formulaic for me, which is why when it got Game of the Year at the Game Awards,
Yeah, I didn't realize me and him just don't understand why it got that. Like, I think the game is incredible.
Yeah,
but I never.
It deserves awards for its gameplay, but it's not Game of the Year. It's the same fucking Zelda game with a new skin.
I think that stories in games are the most important thing, personally. I mean, gameplay is great, but you can have a really, really good game that plays all sorts of different things, a little side quests, little bits and bobs here and there. But if you've got no story to it, it's just, what's the point in playing it? I might as well play Candy Crush. You know
but here's another thing. There are some games that have really great stories and have shit gameplay, and I won't finish them.
Do you even
there we go.
There's a balance between those two.
There's got to be a balance,
Yeah, but those, for me, gameplay is more important, because if your game is not fun to play, I don't care if it has the best story in the world, I'm not playing your fucking game.
Yeah,
here's another example of a good story that just, like, with great gameplay was, well, it was kind of like, it was great gameplay. It was Nier, which was my second.
Nier Automata,
was my second game, like my second choice for Game of the Year, and that's another one where it's just, I've been seeing a lot more of these stories, because the only bad news you really hear about this year was shit like from EA.
Yeah, loot boxes with EA and Activision, which EA and Activision are always fucking themselves.
I don't even understand why EA still make football games or any sporting games, because once you've played one, you've played them all, surely.
Yeah, I'm not a sports fan. I don't like sports just in general, let alone in my video game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if I was EA, I would develop one football game, one hockey game, whatever, for the PlayStation 4, and then just charge $39.99 for an update that updates the gameplay mechanics and the rosters every year.
Not even charge them for it. You know, just
well.
But where are they
you
can get that money from?
Yeah.
Cash Green.
Yeah, well, that's what make better games.
Make better games. Yeah, you'd think. You'd think that
sport crap.
Yeah.
Sport crap,
the new thing that's coming along, Destiny clones. There's going to be tons of Destiny clones.
Yeah, and we'll see those fall apart quite quickly, I believe.
Yeah,
I don't see them lasting outside of, like, maybe 4 years down the road. I think people will be over it. It's the same thing, I think, with the music genre.
People are already over it.
I know, but it's the same thing like the rock band genre.
Destiny just Call of Duty in space?
No, I mean... No, because Call of Duty has those, like, over-the-top action scenes and some of those little, like, quick-time events here and there. Destiny is none of that. It is just mining and just mind-numbing. Yeah, grinding.
Very grinding.
Yeah, Call of Duty I wouldn't define as grinding, but it's like... It's like a...
Destiny has some of the best gunplay in any game that I've played in a long time, still to this day.
Well, it should. That's
but
its main.
That's
all you do.
There's no fucking story. All the story in the game is locked in those Grimoire card systems that you have to log into Bungie's website to read. Fuck that. If your story's not in your game, fuck you.
I agree. Actually,
definitely.
And then the actual gameplay mechanics.
Don't make me do homework.
Yeah, I'm not doing homework to play your fucking game.
Yeah,
that's why I'm almost 30.
Not to, like, kind of go off subject at all, but it's kind of like how I feel with, like, the Star Wars universe. The Star Wars universe has all these like books and all that shit, but none of it is actually necessary to go see the movie. It enhances the experience when you know this character's backstory, but it's not really necessary. You just do it when you want.
Yeah.
But if a Star Wars movie, or any movie for that matter of fact, made me do homework, I'm gonna automatically lose interest. But go ahead, what you were saying.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, the gameplay in Destiny itself is just super repetitive and grindy, and like played that game.
I think people are getting sick of it.
We played that game for a long time. How many hours do you think we put into Destiny? Over 100, probably.
Yeah, not enough to say, like,
you're sick of it.
Yeah.
We exactly. And we are. We didn't pick up Destiny 2, and it ended up being the best decision we ever made, because it's just a fucking loot box fest now.
Yeah, apparently
with paid cosmetic DLC,
but that's what games tend to be like now. As I said,
that's the only bad side of 2017 was all the loot box and shit that people saw, that people were paying for cosmetic shit, so let's make them pay for actual
gameplay changing things, which is fucking terrible.
And Nintendo kind of dived into it a little bit too with their Amiibo, and it pissed a lot of people off with the Metroid Samus Returns. A lot of people got a little pissed off about that as well. So this is another podcast where loot boxes got brought up, but that's actually one of the things I enjoy about with Zelda was that it is essentially the same game, but they trying to find a way to mix up the gameplay per franchise.
Well, because the story was always good in Zelda. There was never anything wrong with the story.
I mean, Ocarina of Time is one of my favorite games of all time. I still love the story of Ocarina of Time. It felt different enough. But, I mean, yeah, like, Link to the Past, did you like the 3DS, like the spiritual successor type of the Link Between Worlds? That's like a sequel to Link to the Past?
No, I haven't actually played that one, I'll be honest.
Oh, okay.
I played,
I liked it. It was
the four swords.
I love Four Swords a lot.
It was so frustrating though.
I know.
Trying to move. That was a pain.
It's a pain in the ass. I agree, but
really
if you can get like the true experience of Four Swords, it's one of my favorite Zeldas. I love that game.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I think that it's smart that they are just kind of moving to let's get the new one out, and I'm sure it won't be out until like either the end of the Switch's lifespan or something like that. But I don't know what Nintendo's plan is to keep the Switch going long term. If they're just going to kind of do what Xbox has been doing and just kind of
fill the gap.
I have a suggestion.
I mean, go ahead. You want to give Nintendo your suggestion?
F-Zero GX2.
That's not a suggestion about that's a game, not about the longevity of the system, you fuck.
Listen, if they pull out
I think
F-Zero
they will.
GX2, I'll go buy one today.
I think they will.
Today.
They are totally, I think, going to do an F-Zero. And I agree, they should do an F-Zero because Fast Race Neo was really well liked. And imagine fleshing that out with good, better graphics.
With
I mean, the game
F-Zero
looks great.
machine editor that was in the GameCube game, add a track editor. That's all you need to fucking do. If you really wanted to, they could do a side-scrolling beat-em-up story mode too, because Captain Falcon is a bounty hunter.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to do anything.
No,
That'd be cool if they did that. But also, I get worried with Nintendo trying to deviate from their established franchises because then you get shit like Star Fox Zero.
Well, here's why I suggest that.
Star Fox Guard was actually better than Star Fox Zero. That's a problem.
Yeah, when the bonus game that came along. The guy who made F-Zero GX is the guy who also makes the Yakuza franchise. So if they partner with Sega to make another F-Zero GX and they get him to handle it like he handled the first one, it's going to be fucking
You don't
phenomenal.
think he's got his hands tied with Yakuza?
Listen,
he's got 5 Yakuza games coming out.
Well, he needs to take a fucking break and make me an F-Zero game.
I think they're going to do F-Zero, but I don't know. Maybe he won't be it.
Listen, I just don't want frickin' Miyamoto to handle my F-Zero game because I don't want Mario Kart.
Why? That's the best racing game ever.
No, it isn't.
The graphics are so good. And when you throw a banana skin and you can chuck a shell that seeks you out. And
Men don't need power-ups to win races. You need driving skill.
All right. So what's NOS then?
There's no NOS in F-Zero.
Is there no NOS in F-Zero?
No.
NOS?
They got. Well, I guess they have boost.
But that's NOS.
Oh, not. I mean, it's like NOS the whole time.
Yeah, you're going like 1,000 kilometers.
I agree that F-Zero does need to come out, but Adam's just expectations. I don't think no matter what they do, he'll never be satisfied unless it's a clone copy of GX.
GX is the best one.
Okay, well, I state my claim, but yeah, with Zelda and just. I hope that we see another Zelda. As I said, I get kind of nervous about it if they're just going to copy Breath of the Wild again, and then they're just going to be Breath of the Wild Zeldas all over the place.
You remember that's what they did with Majora's Mask was gameplay-wise was just a copy of...
Yeah, but it was different enough that
that's
it wasn't
what I mean. Maybe they'll do something
game.
like that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I would hope that they would do something
like use the same engine, but make a new game with new elements in it.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I think they're going to make it a lot better. I mean, they were working off Wii U engine to make that game. I mean, they started making Breath of the Wild immediately after Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were working off early Wii U dev kits.
Yeah.
So Switch, I'm sure it'll look a little better, but I mean, the game I thought looked pretty good for pretty much Wii U graphics because I also don't think that the Wii U version is that graphically inferior to the Switch version. Its colors are a little brighter, but same. My friend played it and thought it was great looking on there by itself.
What are you thinking on the new Final Fantasy VII remake?
Very nervous. I'm very nervous about that thing. But here's the thing though, I kind of think 7's a little overrated, but it's still a really fun game. And I yeah, I don't expect it to be anything like Final Fantasy VII.
No. All I wanted, well, literally all I wanted was just sharper characters. That's what same game.
Like a graphical remaster.
Yeah. Just but
like kind of do what they did with the Final Fantasy 12, where it's pretty much the same game with a couple little, but like make it look a lot nicer.
That's it. That's all I wanted.
Did you play the Final Fantasy 12?
I haven't played the remaster. I have it. It's still
the remasters.
I've got still.
Fast forward feature, baby. They need to put that in every fucking thing ever.
You can make the game play at 4 times normal speed.
Yeah,
it makes the battles go so quick.
Oh, brilliant!
But the game's so big that it never feels like you're not. Like, it never feels like the world is small because you're moving so fast. It still feels big, but I'm like sitting there like, oh my god, this game would take so fucking long without this feature.
Yeah,
I love the fast.
It made me realize how much like wasted time was in the original game.
Yeah, exactly. So check that out. I enjoyed the shit out of it.
The other thing is like, again, I come back to like 9, 8, and 7 multi-discs. Mm-hmm. Why don't they do multi-discs?
They don't need.
I don't think they need to anymore.
They should. They should.
Just to do it?
There was something about going, I finished disc 1. Yeah, I'm so excited. Not disc 2.
They kind of do that. It's like, now you can beat expansion 1. And now you can wait 6 months and do expansion 2.
Waiting 6 months, you haven't got the game in your hand.
Oh, I know.
So and it comes back to graphical content rather than story.
Another reason for that is like the vacuum drives that they use now, where they suck the disc in. You can't really switch a disc. You can't really there's none of this shit. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can.
I agree. I think you could with like a PS4. I mean,
there's no reason to.
But I don't think there's any reason to anymore. I mean, a Blu-ray disc is like 5.
Well, they're getting bigger even.
Yeah, they're getting even bigger.
The games are getting bigger. You think the content on the games, again, we come back to graphics. We come back to like lack of story.
Yeah.
So 15. I liked 15. It was good. And I know they've tried to make it into 7 again.
Yeah.
Like with the whole franchise thing. We've got DVDs now. We've got this. We've got that.
Yeah.
And they're trying to make it really, really big. But I thought the actual original game they released was really weak story-wise. I didn't think there was much in it. Without watching all of the other stuff.
We have a good friend who is actually a friend of the show who is a big Final Fantasy. Dave. He's a real big Final Fantasy fan. He hated 15. He hated it. He completed it because he's like, I complete every Final Fantasy. That's what I do. But he hated it.
Yeah.
And
I really like 15, but I agree with your criticisms. Like the game world itself felt very empty.
Yeah. I mean, has he played 14 as well?
The online one? I don't know. I'd have to ask him.
Because I played 11, which was the other online one. It was quite good, but 14 is a lot better.
I heard that they added stuff and now it's like it's really fun, but it was like really weak at the beginning.
The storyline, it was building up to something.
Okay.
It still is. It's an ongoing storyline. It's gonna keep progressing. Gonna keep making DLC for it. So.
But I know people who are pissed off about that with 15. That they just want another 16 and they've got 2 years worth of content coming out for 15.
Yeah, but the thing is with 15, it's when you played it, it ended.
Yeah.
The story ended.
Yeah.
You know, the lead character died.
Spoiler. I mean, that doesn't matter. If you haven't played the goddamn game yet, you're good. If you haven't completed
it, then I'm sorry, your own fault.
Yeah. It's been out for a long time. Yeah, you don't have an interest in it, you know? Yeah. It's not like spoiling Star Wars right now where it's out for a week, you know?
Yeah. So, but it's the fact is that releasing content afterwards and then making people play it again with more in it, it's like, I don't want to play it again.
Did you do any of the DLC? Because that's not how it works.
No.
You just load your save file in at the menu. You select the DLC.
But the lead character's dead. Why do I need to play any more of it? He's dead. He's gone.
I see what you're saying, but
the game's ended. It's finished.
Yeah. But no, they got to milk that cash cow. I mean, it was a big game. It's just, I know people who are just like, man, we're never going to get 16. Not this generation, at least.
No, I don't know. I think we will.
You think we will?
I think we will. I think they need to think about what the fans want from the games. And I know they do. and that's why 7's taken so long. I have seen snippets of 7 of what it's going to look like. It is looking good.
It looks good.
It's looking good.
I think since they announced it, we did an E3 show on our second or third variation of this show, because we're on our like fourth iteration of this show right now. And it's when they did the announcement trailer, and I just looked at it, I'm like, everyone wants it to be Final Fantasy VII. This game is not going to be Final Fantasy VII. It's going to have the storyline. That's it.
It's going to have storyline of Final Fantasy VII. It's going to have the gameplay of Crisis Core.
Yeah,
that's basically what it's going to be. Now, I didn't dislike Crisis Core. I quite liked it. Actually,
I did too. The story was kind of shit.
Yeah, it was
like really melodramatic.
It was like, this is a prequel to something that's been absolutely brilliant, and it's. Yeah, it's like it was almost like it was forced.
What do you think is the draw of Final Fantasy VII? Why is that the one that everybody is like, that is the ultimate
I think it's pivot point in computer game graphics, depth of story, what you can actually do in it, side quests. It was very much like a pioneering game.
Yeah, it's just funny. You just don't hear people talk about that like any other game. But like Final Fantasy VII still is like
most people don't even know what Final Fantasy VII's fucking about.
Yeah, most people do not.
They're like, it's about Cloud versus Sephiroth. The whole fucking game is about conserving natural resources.
Yeah, protecting the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that.
I think a lot of people just. I mean, how many people do you know who? How many people do you guess sit there and say that Final Fantasy VII is their favorite one, but never have actually played 7? Or have never like come
I reckon there's probably a few people like, I love it so much, and they go, oh yeah, I love the characters. So did you ever get Gold Chocobo? Did you go to the island?
Did you get Knights of the Round? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So. It's because Final Fantasy VII for me was just like, because I didn't have a PlayStation, and so I think whenever I got to 7, I was kind of like
behind.
I was way behind, and I think the hype was a little too high for me to.
You weren't there when it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 64.
Yeah.
So the closest thing I got was Quest 64.
It was supposed to be on the 64 originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. That would have been awesome.
It wouldn't.
No. It would have been like 4 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but still, I would have liked a role playing. I would have liked a role playing game because seriously, all I had was Quest 64 and like Aiden Chronicles. Yeah, exactly.
Ogre Battle, that's a good one.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, I love Ogre Battle because I love. But at the time, I wasn't into.
N64 had better action RPGs.
Yeah,
PlayStation action RPGs fucking sucked because like, you remember they didn't even have analog controls. They just had D-pad for the longest time.
Yeah, it was,
yeah, you're right. I mean, I still love my 64, but I mean, you can count maybe less than 20 games that are actually worth playing on the system, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have them all.
It was GoldenEye. GoldenEye was brilliant. Yeah. I love playing GoldenEye.
I still like playing GoldenEye. A lot of people are sitting there like, it doesn't hold up very well. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't, but I mean, the game's how fucking old. But it's still fun.
It's nostalgia.
Yeah, I know.
That's the whole retro game thing. Mm-hmm. It's nostalgia. It's not about, I've got this game. It's like, have you played that game? No. What's the point in bragging about you having it?
Yeah.
You might as well just have something else collected.
Oh, I mean, you saw my Super Nintendo. Like, that's my system, and I love finding new shit on there all the time. Like, I just told Adam about a game I just got called SOS, and it's a Victor Kai game where you're, it's like if you took the Poseidon adventure and stuck it in a game, like you're seriously trying to escape a sinking boat. And the whole entire game map will like flip upside down,
fill with water,
and it's like no one fucking talks about how awesome that game is. And that game, I'm like, I knew about the game long ago, but I could never find it, and so I finally found it. And
Victor Kai is like one of my favorite concepts.
Yeah, that's why
everything they do has like an experimental concept in it.
Mm-hmm. And this one was definitely because it looks like the Clock Tower. Which I love Clock Tower on the Super Nintendo as well, even though it never came over here, but I got a ported version of it. Wow, we really went off topic on that one. But
yeah, we went. Where did we start?
We were talking about Zelda DLC, but we were doing Zelda DLC, and then it turned into Final Fantasy DLC, and it all kind of had a flow to it, but man, it really went all over the place. But so here's another one. Psychonauts was originally intended to come out next year, Well, apparently the developer said that that's not going to happen and that it's actually going to come out in 2019.
So I got 2 questions. Is this Double Fine?
This is Double Fine, yes.
Okay, so it is actually Tim Schafer then.
Yes, it is Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer from Grim Fandango fame.
Yeah.
Brutal legend.
So he put that 5 whole teams are working on it, and the development has ramped up, but it's just going to take more time, and they're just saying we don't want to release a product that we don't like, and I understand this is a game that's been in development. This isn't fucking, like Forza or what's the last, or like Need for Speed where you just can patch it. Like, if you don't hook people right away on this shit, they're going to rip it apart.
You're going to know. If you spend time on something, spend a lot of time on something, the finished product will show. You'll see it. If you spend a bit of time on it, chuck it in the back, build up the hype, and when it comes out, you haven't done anything with it, it's just going to be awful. It's a good thing that they make you wait, and telling you why they're making you wait as well.
Yeah.
So when it comes out, if it doesn't live up to expectations, the next game they release, you'll be like, I'm not really fussed.
Well, this one, the one thing about this game is that they kind of crowdfunded this game. So, I mean, and to be honest, let's be fair. These crowdfunded games right now haven't had the best track record. They just have not.
They haven't. Mighty Number 9 has been shit.
No. And there's another one that came out not too long ago. Oh, Ukulele wasn't really that well received. I get kind of worried about Bloodstained.
I'm not
right now, but I wasn't worried about half the other ones.
And here's why I'm not worried about Bloodstained, because Bloodstained is actually updating their Twitter. Or I mean their Kickstarter page.
Yeah. I still get updates for that.
So I'm not worried about what they're doing.
And then people are worried about Shenmue 2.
Yeah, Shenmue 3 is
TOO, not obviously not 2.
Yeah.
So the developers went on and said that we love the game we're making, and we want to make sure that Psychonauts 2 is something you'll love. A game that carries on the legacy of Psychonauts in a meaningful and special way. We're making great progress, but we want to make sure that the game has time it needs to shine. We will not be shipping in 2019 like we originally estimated when we published the FIG campaign 2 years ago. Game's been in development for a while, but yeah. I have no problem with delaying games.
Well, I don't have any qualms about Tim Schafer telling me that he needs to delay his game. He's going to deliver. Mm-hmm. It's fucking Tim Schafer. He's going to deliver.
Now, I was reading the article, and I thought something else was kind of weird. Just a little thing that I noticed. It says at the end of the article, it says, this will be released on such and such time, blah, blah, blah. And they are going... Originally, when they put out the campaign, it was for Xbox and PC only. Mm-hmm. There was no mention of PS4. But now it says slated for PS4.
PS4 was getting a different Psychonauts game that was for VR only.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That was the difference, but they changed it so that the PS4 is also getting this as well.
Oh, Psychonauts in the Rhombus of Ruin. Mm-hmm. Wow, the standalone VR adventure. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I'm kind of happy about that we're going to be getting Psychonauts. I like Psychonauts. I didn't think it was this amazing game that everybody else thought it was. I thought it was funny more than its gameplay was amazing, but... I
think that's the draw with Double Fine games.
It's well enough. It is a well enough made game that I'd play a sequel to it.
Games like Stacking or Costume Quest.
Yeah.
I mean, half the shit in Stacking was like burping and farting jokes. So.
What's wrong with burping and farting?
Nothing.
I was going to say, are you shitting on burping and farting jokes?
The main aim of a Double Fine game is to be...
See what I did there?
Yeah. It's to be
this guy
comedic.
Gets it. Huh?
The main aim of a Double Fine game is to be comedic.
Well, that's good. That's kind of their niche.
Yeah.
So
they're good at
feed it. Maybe, and it seems like, as I said, I don't have any problem with a game, especially that has 5 full teams working on it. I don't have a problem with them saying, hey, we need to make more time. I mean, the game, I think they're pretty much saying, we like the way the game's going, but if we rush this out, it's going to clearly show, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with them delaying it. I really am. So here's the next article, Adam and Nathan. We got Cuphead sales have now reached 2 million copies sold.
Yeah.
And the game was only released in September. That's really good.
I've never played it or seen it or even seen
You've
it.
never seen Cuphead?
No.
Oh my god, it's all hand-drawn animation. It looks
You seriously have
beautiful,
never seen it?
Like an old 1930s
Oh,
cartoon.
fuck. Oh, here. You know what? We'll do this,
We'll break like we usually do.
Yeah, we'll just do a quick little break real quick because I want to get him caught up on what this looks like because it's a really cool looking game.
Yeah.
So we will be right back, and once we get Nathan a little affiliated with the trailer, and then we'll see what his take on it is and what his thoughts on it.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back.
Cool.
And we're back. Nathan just saw a couple clips of Cuphead. I mean, this is your first time seeing it. What'd you think of that shit?
Yeah, it's like a cartoon from when I was a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I basically, it's Mickey Mouse with a cup for a head. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
The animation style, it did remind me of like.
It's like a platforming shooter type of style. Like a shoot 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, it's like a shoot 'em up, but with this really weird.
Yeah, the music though. That's what sets it apart. That's really good. That sort of.
I think it all kind of comes together like that 1930s animation style, the music.
Mm-hmm.
All he needs to do is when he's driving a steamboat and start whistling.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a nod in there to it. I honestly wouldn't.
In some of the music tracks, there's nods to other games like Super Mario and stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, I did not turn the volume down, I guess, from whenever we were showing him the trailer. But yeah, I mean, it's also not a very easy game. Apparently, people complain.
Nobody wants easy games.
It's a very hard game.
Yeah, but that's good. That means you've got to find a balance with games.
It seems to be like it seems to be like a hard game, but not like Super Meat Boy level difficulty, from what I've been hearing.
Hopefully, they have a sort of a level select where you can pick what level you want to play at. So like easy, medium, hard.
Oh, I'm sure that there's got to be. Yeah, there's got to be something like
hard,
that.
You know,
yeah.
Savage.
So the developers, Studio MDHR, said that they never in our wildest dreams we ever thought our crazy little characters would be embraced by this many fans from around the world, and we are continuously humbled by your support. I mean, the game is just... And it won a bunch of awards at the Game Awards. It's on a lot of people's like top indie game of the year, visual styles. I mean, it won best visuals.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely fantastic. Now it's an Xbox game. I am pretty sure you could easily play that on your phone. On yourself.
Probably.
Yeah, I don't think it's resource intensive.
No, I mean, you guys said it's like Xbox's like flagship, and it just goes to show, really.
There's not much on there.
There's not much on the Xbox.
The game was developed and published with the support from Microsoft, which is why they've come out and said that it's never going to come out for the PS4.
Well, they could release it for a Windows phone, couldn't they?
Yeah, they technically could. I mean, it looks like what I'm probably going to have to do is get this thing for
Steam.
Steam.
It probably will get patched to death anyway. You can play it on anything, and it will end up on a mobile phone. It will end up on a cell.
Most likely.
But yeah, it's a beautiful game.
Yeah. Colours.
The colours are just...
colours.
I love
the main characters and the bosses are really colourful, and then you got everything else in the background that sort of just fades away. It's not quite as bright. So it really
just like one of those old cartoons.
Yeah, exactly.
I love like the dancing flowers in the background and the sun like whistling and stuff like that. It's really just a charming looking game.
It's like Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah,
but computer game.
Yeah,
it's like going into that world. Yeah, you know, it's like
it's
cartoon land.
Yeah, it's really neat. So we're gonna move on to our movie TV news, especially because of the first article. So we'll dive right into it. The Amazon Lord of the Rings TV show was announced that Amazon got the rights to do a Lord of the Rings prequel show. Is this new news to you or something, or why?
Prequel is in like The Hobbit?
No, between Hobbit and Lord of the Rings.
So it's shit that doesn't actually exist, is what you're saying.
Yes, this is actually new content from...
Amazon are going to ruin Lord of the Rings. I think that's where you're going with this.
No, I'm actually not, because they're doing something that would be pretty awesome.
Who's directing?
Well, we don't know yet. I mean, they literally just got the rights to it. But the Tolkien family came out and were like, this is who we're going to do it with. So they have the
All
token support. Now, this is stuff that hasn't really been written about.
Yeah.
So, but here's the interesting. Ian McKellan has come out and said that he would love to play Gandalf again. Now, that's awesome. Now, whether or not you want to connect it to the movies or not, I think it'd be stupid not to connect it to the movies, especially because you just did The Hobbit.
You should, really.
I think you should.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. If Ian McKellen is coming out and saying, I want to play Gandalf again, and let's say if you actually use Gandalf, this might not use Gandalf. It might not. It's possible. There might be a completely different area of Middle-earth that Gandalf just is somewhere else. But if you have the option and Ian McKellen wants to be in it, why would you not put him in there?
The thing is, though, Lord of the Rings is based around a ring.
Yeah.
So that ring's got to be in it.
I mean, if they call it Lord of the Rings, we don't know what it's going to be called. I mean, you got stuff like, a lot of it is between the ring, but I mean, during Lord of the Rings the ring hadn't really been found. Doesn't it?
You know what would have been a better idea?
What?
The Silmarillion.
I want the Silmarillion really bad, but do you know how difficult the Silmarillion would be to film? That book just jumps all over the place.
Yeah, well, it's like over thousands of years.
Yeah. It'd be... I'd love it, but it'd be very difficult to do. But if you do it...
Twisted stories. I love twisted stories.
Yeah.
If you want to read a story or read something, it's going to get your brain going, get your minds focused on something, making you wanting to read that next page. It's hard finding books like that.
It really is.
If you get halfway through, you're like, I'm just reading this for the sake of reading this.
Well, to be honest, I don't even really read anymore. What I do is I have a driving job right now. Audiobooks.
That's where you're going, because I do the same.
You do the same thing, huh?
I do the same. Yeah. I've listened to all sorts of things. Dexter, before they turned it into a TV show.
Yeah, his books.
I listened to all the books whilst driving around to and from my jobs.
That's what I do with. That's what I do with my Star Wars books.
Yeah.
All my Star Wars books. I've done like 3 of them. My next one I'm going to do is Shadow of the Empire, even though it's not canon. But
fuck you.
I know, but I just want to read that because it's such a good story.
I just don't want to be reminded that it's not canon anymore.
Hey, you never know, man. They're adding a bunch of shit.
The Outriders canon, so it might happen.
Yeah, it could happen. And that's how I've been doing a lot of my book reading. And so the Silmarillion is one of those ones that I never completely finished all the way through, which I would love to go through and get an audiobook of the Silmarillion. And I remember reading it and loving it.
Yeah.
It's just that, man, that book would be there are just some things that just don't really translate well into film. And I think
the TV show would be a better format to do this.
100%. Oh, I completely agree.
You can do it over like a course of series.
Yeah.
Rather than just a one-off movie.
Well, because you got to cram a book that has so much content.
The Silmarillion is like the Bible of Lord of the Rings. It's like tells the creation of the world,
exactly,
and the wars between the gods and everything like
that.
So
you could cherry pick stuff and make a whole season out of stuff from the Silmarillion.
Well, maybe that's what they're going to do.
Well, no, because they actually said that it is going to take place before Lord of the Rings and after the Hobbit.
So it's like that where everything's all peaceful and quiet,
kind of
nothing happens, and they go running through the meadow and
drinking. But also during Lord of the Rings, like the Fellowship, like Sauron's kind of already got an army together.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like maybe you could talk about how Sauron is getting his army back together.
You've also got you've also got the breakdown of. Between the different areas in Middle-earth.
Yeah, so like they could talk about a bunch of stuff like that. Now, I really, if they want this to fit in with the movie universe, which I would actually kind of prefer, I would actually like if they did the movie, and it's kind of how the Marvel does the Netflix stuff.
They're like loosely connected.
They're loosely, but they're not like, sure, they might mention like a character here and there, but they're not like ever gonna be. None of these characters really appear in there.
Yeah. I must admit, some of that Marvel make good movies.
Yeah.
Their TV shows.
You're not a fan of the Netflix ones?
I'm not a fan.
I love the Netflix ones.
Yeah, the Netflix ones. I'm not talking about like
Agents of Shield and the Inhumans.
Those suck. Those are terrible.
Yeah, no. You've got like Luke Cage. Not a fan of Luke Cage. I watched it. I was like.
Did you watch The Punisher?
I haven't watched The Punisher.
Punishers.
I haven't watched The Punisher yet. I've watched.
Oh my god, that last scene in The Punisher is ridiculous.
The other one with
Daredevil.
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
No.
Oh, I love Daredevil. What?
Yeah,
It's too slow.
What?
It's just too slow for me.
Oh.
No, I like
Even the
movies.
second season?
No, I'm not a big fan of Ben Affleck, but the movies, I kind of like the movies.
You liked the Daredevil movie?
Yeah.
Did we give him weed before we started?
Okay, full disclosure. If you get rid of the teeter-totter scene, I like Daredevil too. But I love Daredevil, so I mean, you can't really fault me for Daredevil. Daredevil's my second favorite hero. And can you really fault me?
The soundtrack sold me on Daredevil because you got music from like Fuel, you got music from Saliva. And
okay, see, there you're losing me. Okay, I just like the movie. Yeah. I don't need to hear "Bring Me to Life" anymore in my life.
Yeah, well, that's Evanescence, but that's fine. we put Evanescence on the shelf over there.
I don't mind Fuel, but Saliva's not really my thing.
Saliva, they do some good songs.
Yeah,
so.
but. I love the Daredevil. I love the Netflix universe. I really do. I love what they did with Daredevil.
I like everything. Hey,
whatever.
Iron Fist is terrible.
Iron Fist was awful.
Yeah, Iron Fist. Check out the Punisher. Punisher's Punisher's the first one that actually has no connection really to any of them except that he was in the second season.
Iron Fist for me was like, I'm a beach bum. I'm a proper little beach bum. I've come back with no family.
Yeah, I mean,
welcome back. Nobody knows who you are. But
they think you're dead,
and all of a sudden now everybody knows who you are.
It's not a good series.
He was miscast.
Really miscast.
Finn Jones had no business playing Danny Rand.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest though, you could have put anyone in that script and it would have been awful. It was awful. It was just a bad script. You can't really work off of.
I'm just saying,
script.
like the way he played the character was not good, and then. The first, like, he limbered up a little bit for defenders.
Yeah, but that was also because every defender was sitting there talking about how shitty he was.
Yeah.
That's why you kind of were like, oh, I'm tired of getting shit on, like, that type of style. Like,
but I'm saying, like,
take me serious,
his
guys.
martial arts, man, his movements were like a street sign in Iron Fist. Like, he was stiff as fuck.
It wasn't very good. I mean, they should have got someone with a little bit more experience. And... I mean, you had a guy whose main experience was like, I don't know, maybe a full 25 minutes altogether in all of Game of Thrones. I mean, he really had like no... I don't know why they chose him, but I don't know. He was just miscast. But who wasn't miscast was Ian McKellen as Gandalf. That was like the best part of those movies. Mm-hmm. And he was the best part of The Hobbit. I don't really want to talk about The Hobbit. I like the second one, but... I don't like the first or the third. The second one's okay, but that barrel scene in the river was just, oh my god, that was terrible. But
I didn't watch any of them because I can't watch the Lord of the Rings movies.
You don't like the Lord of the Rings movies?
I can't watch them.
Why?
Because every time I see them, I just hear the Jurassic Park overture and I can't pay attention.
I don't get it.
But it makes sense in your head, right?
Yeah, it does now. Yeah.
Why? I don't get it.
Because they're just like walking through a green field, and then I think about the Jurassic Park overture, and it's done. I'm out of the scene. I'm out of the movie. I've been removed.
So you have no interest in the show at all?
No.
Oh, I'm totally interested in the show.
I'm not going to watch it, no.
I just hope they don't turn it into... clearly they're doing it because of the popularity of Game of Thrones, but I don't want them to do like over-sexified... Game of Thrones
that's not
doesn't fit within the universe.
Yeah, it just doesn't fit.
It's like a conversation about the Tarantino R with the new Star Trek.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to see like people, fucking each other every 5 minutes in Star Trek. Nor do I want to see them in Lord of the Rings because that's just not the style. That's not those are the books.
Yeah, that's not what it should be.
Yeah,
it should be. It should be.
You can have a good story without fucking every 5 minutes.
Yeah. And at the end of the day. Sex on television is just not pleasant. You think, I'm not there, I'm watching two people at it. Okay, you're setting a scene, but do I need to watch this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you cut out most of the nudity in Game of Thrones, you really could be completely okay. It's rarely pivotal.
You'd have one series.
Yeah. Oh, I bet you there's a video on YouTube of everyone who just compiled all the sex scenes. I bet you it's like at least an episode's worth.
Oh, probably more than that.
You think?
You know, no, just nudity. Anything, anything that's nudity to sex, anything along those lines, guaranteed. You've got a series there.
If it has no, if it doesn't move the story or the plot at all, it doesn't need to be there. I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
I do think
at that point.
To be honest, though, I think
they could just fade out. Like I could have a kissing scene and like a moving something off somebody's shoulder or something dropping off and then ending it there. Yeah. We know what they've just done. We don't live in a box. This is the real world. Okay, that's not the real world.
To be honest, though, do you remember like James Bond movies? Whenever he would that's exactly what would happen. They'd be kissing, they go down, fade to black, and then he'd be sitting there smoking a cigarette. It's like, what the? And that woman would be like passed out on the floor. Like, what the fuck did he just do to her?
And it makes your imagination use a bit more. You know,
all I think of is that every James Bond scene is like the Team America World Police scenes. That's like what happens. Like, yeah, exactly. That's what I think every sex scene, whenever it fades to black, is like.
That's a very innocent way to think about things.
It's innocent until when you think about like what it is.
Yeah.
Do you think I can actually like? I don't know. What do you think? You think during this segment while I'm talking about this, you think I should just clip a video of the weird sex scenes on the bottom of the screen? The puppets
the strings.
Yeah, the strings tangled up and oh man. But I'm excited. I mean, if Ian McKellan wants to do it, I'd say why not? If you're not using the Gandalf character, then you don't have to use it. You don't have to use him. But if you're going to,
save your money.
Yeah, I save him. Yeah, but if not, he wants to do it. Cameo that shit. He doesn't need to be a main part, but just put him in there. See if you can get like Viggo Mortensen as like Aragorn real quick or something. I don't care. Okay. Next topic. This one's our next couple are a little controversial and our feelings towards it. So, Deadpool 2 is going to be coming out soon, and TJ Miller was, a very small, minor part. TJ Miller was on the Silicon Valley show, and he had his own show on Comedy Central that apparently got canceled, but Comedy Central came out and said that they had been planning to cancel it, but after these allegations that had come out, that was kind of like, yeah, we need to get this out now. It's canceled. But apparently they said that these allegations had no bearing on why we canceled the show. So TJ Miller is apparently being accused of a sexual assault, but I don't really define this as sexual assault. It's just more like just assault. I mean, he's being accused by a girl that he dated in college that she was being beaten, choked, punched, kicked, all these horrible, horrible things by TJ Miller. And so the question is, after these news comes out, and will Fox remove him from the movie? A la Kevin Spacey from All the Money in the World, they replaced him with Christopher Plummer. Now, I've seen some people reading about it, and they've said, yeah, replace him. Dude, just replace scenes. He can't be in the movie that much. And that's fine. But then there are some people who are saying, like, oh, well, replace him with, like, Christopher Plummer. And it's like, okay, I get it, but it's kind of, I don't think this is the attention that you bring to it. Don't make a joke out of it.
Yeah. The thing is with it, we went over this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
If stuff like that's happened, you can't change the past.
Yeah.
Is he like it now with his current partner? You don't know, do you?
No.
But even then, you can't judge people what they've done on the past. If they're sorry for it and they've made amends for it, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But if they haven't
addressed what they've done. Yeah, if they're running from it, that's different.
Yeah, exactly.
They're trying to hide from it.
If you hit something like dead on and you meet it head on the way you're supposed to, then
I'm not sure he's commented on it, but there are people who knew the girl in college who said the same, who were like, yeah, we remember when this was going on. It was awful.
The flip side of it all is, why wait until now to bring it up and deal with it? Why not deal with it?
I think I can answer that.
Well, I got one thing is that apparently it was being handled, and then it kind of got like dropped, like no one really cared, and they were just kind of like, okay, it happened, but whatever. And the only other thing that I could say is, there's this guy who beat me who is becoming popular and making money, and he's a horrible person. Now, I'm not saying obviously.
I don't think it's entirely revenge. You have to think about what's happening.
I don't think it's
Hollywood
revenge,
right now.
but it's like if
it's like somebody's chasing money. That's
I don't think there's money to be had because it's statute of limitations. I think it's just more like, hey, stop idolizing this guy. He's a fucking asshole. Now,
that's exactly what I mean. All this shit's going on in Hollywood right now. They're pulling everybody's cards,
but no one's making money off it. Like Kevin Spacey, his whole thing, nothing happened from it.
Because he's just not casting anything anymore. They removed him from everything, canceled the House of Cards.
All they've done is just ruined somebody's career.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think a person deserves to be in that position if they're a fucking horrible person. Like this kid, like the Kevin Spacey situation was, he was
molested underage boys.
Yeah,
like fuck him.
Yeah. He apparently there's what is his name? Richard Dreyfuss. Apparently, Richard Dreyfuss' son said that Kevin Spacey molested him in the room where Richard Dreyfuss had his back turned. Like, that's fucked. That's awful. And I definitely don't support people who abuse anybody, let alone women. I don't think that you got a 1 in a million chance to have this opportunity. You may be super talented. You may be the most talented person in the world. But you get a 1 in a million chance of getting that type of position where you get to be in movies, you get to be making paychecks that are in the 6 figures sometimes. And like Dustin Hoffman is a recent one. It seems to be like that one's not kind of being like kept quiet, but like Dustin Hoffman's another one. And I love Dustin Hoffman. Adam can tell you right now, how big of a Kevin Spacey fan was I?
Before this happened?
Yes.
Huge.
Huge. Loved Kevin Spacey. American Beauty is still one of my favorite movies, but it's really hard to watch.
It's the reason you bought that Call of Duty game.
Yeah, I bought Infinite Warfare because he was a villain. I love Kevin Spacey that much, but I'm sorry. Fuck Kevin Spacey. He's an asshole. And I'm sorry, but if TJ Miller, I know it was the past, but this wasn't like I was drunk and I did some terrible thing. Like I just don't support people. Like, I don't fuck with Chris Brown. I don't fuck with people who hurt other people, let alone beat on women.
Yeah. Who he did it to is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's the fact that he did this.
Like, I still, like, you ever heard about, like, how Mark Wahlberg, like, whenever he was, like, younger.
When he was, like, 14.
He robbed someone and, like, beat someone and put him in the hospital for, like, 6 months.
Yeah, he beat some kid's head in with a rock because he was black. He was involved in a racial hate crime.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the one thing that I was like, okay.
Now he's claims he's reformed since.
He's reformed, and he's actually gone to the people and apologized to them and like said, "I apologize. I was a fucking piece of shit. Please forgive me." And I think the people actually said, like, the guy who got robbed and put in the hospital says, "I forgive you." And there are certain things that I'm like, okay, Mark Wahlberg did that. That's fine. He repented. But he's also
open and honest about the fact that he did it.
Kevin Spacey just came out. Kevin Spacey just was like, "Oh yeah, I might have done that. I don't really know. It could have happened.
I'm gay.
Oh, by the way, I'm gay."
Trying to get himself out of trouble. So like that lets you know that he really doesn't feel any remorse for what he's done.
And TJ Miller, I don't think has even addressed it. And also he put up this weird. I don't follow him on Twitter, but I noticed someone else posted a picture of it on Twitter that said, like, hey, I know that you're trying to keep this shit under wraps, but why would you post this picture of yourself? His new profile photo is him, like, in a dark room covered in blood.
That could be in the new movie.
Yeah, it could. I don't know what it is, but I just think, like, really bad timing. Bad timing.
The thing is, though, is in all these industries, music industry, the movie industry, the gaming industry, you've got people who've gone through and made mistakes in the past. Now, I'm obviously not condoning what he's done, because that'd be wrong. Mm-hmm. But they've made mistakes in the past, and it's only when they become famous that you end up hearing about it. You end up like having a podcast about it, or having a conversation. Now, if I was to have done something like that, and I wasn't famous, you'd never know. I haven't. Just for argument's sake.
But here's a perfect example. Ready? If you came out, like, we'll just say, we'll use you as an example for this one, okay?
Thanks.
Let's say after this podcast, you went outside and you took a shit on my car. took a big dump on the windshield.
That's not.
Hold on. Let me just say this.
I'm just saying this already sounds like a false equivalency, but
I know,
it's not really equal.
It's not equal. Okay, well, how about this? I don't want to put him in like a weird position where you're like, hey, after this, you go home and you beat the shit out of my sister.
Yeah.
No.
You could have just said that. That would be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Or for argument's sake.
Okay, for argument's sake, after this podcast, you go home, find my sister, and you beat her up.
Theoretically, he's dating your sister. He goes home.
And I'd choke her. I'd beat her up. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't become famous. Nobody's ever gonna know about it.
No, but I'm gonna be like, hey, that guy's such a piece of shit. Like he beat up my sister. Fuck him. If you know him, he's a piece of shit. And then let's say if you do
we're not
get a
gonna
movie,
have you back on the podcast after that.
No, but I'm saying like, but then let's say if you're getting a starring role in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, yo, that fucker doesn't deserve to be in any fucking anything. He's a fucking woman beater, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
like,
if I was to come back and say, I'm sorry, I was an arsehole. I'm really sorry. I've made a mistake. I realised how bad that was and how evil I was at that point, and I apologise. And I made and.
But if it was like last year.
Yeah, if it was last year, and
this wasn't when you were like. If this was 15, I'd still think you were an asshole for doing that. But
there's also the sincerity of the apology that goes into effect. That
you don't just like hit a woman and then just be like, sorry, I was being an asshole.
Yeah, you can't just.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a really controversial topic, but
and,
at the same time,
so
it's
I'm a little closer to this than both of you are.
Oh, trust me, I've let's just say I've dealt with.
No, but I mean, I'm closer to the TJ Miller issue than both of you.
Oh, I was going to say the abuse issue. But
okay.
Yeah.
That's
why I'm a little more harsh with it than I think,
Oh, I was in a movie with TJ Miller.
What movie were you in?
I was in She's Out of My League.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you were in a fucking, you're at the airport.
Yeah, I'm in the airport scene. I'm wearing a rainbow paisley shirt and my hair's long.
I didn't know you were in there.
Yeah, I'm in the movie.
You know I was in The Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
I'm in The Dark Knight Rises.
Were you Batman?
I wasn't Batman, but I was in multiple scenes with Batman.
Were you?
I'll show you after the podcast, and I'll show you where I am.
My buddy John Higgs was in that movie too.
Yeah, I was an elite extra mercenary.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah. I got paid a little bit more than everyone because I had to do an extra training scenario. I had to do an extra 2 hours in an airport.
You never told me this. I never knew that.
Oh, I'll tell you the whole story afterwards.
All right.
It's a pretty interesting story, actually.
But anyways,
I have scarring on the inside of my mouth from it because of it. Someone punched me straight up hardcore in the face by accident, but
I gotta say,
hurt like a bitch.
I met him. He was very polite and very easy to get along with, and he was the most human person that was there.
Yeah. People have said that he's down to earth.
Yeah, I gotta say, Jay Brishal, Alice Eve.
I heard Alice Eve is a stuck-up bitch.
Yeah, she's terrible.
She's gorgeous, but stuck-up bitch.
The mother from That 70s Show, I can't remember that actress's name.
Oh, I don't remember, but I remember who you're talking about.
Yeah, she was terrible to people, too.
Really?
Yeah.
It's almost, it goes with the industry. So you get people who are just not very polite. They're just not kind.
But here's what I'm getting at.
I'm cut above everybody else, and everybody else is below me.
That's what I'm saying. TJ Miller was the most down to earth out of everybody, and he's a serial abuser. So my first impression.
Well, we only know one record of it.
Yeah. So
but how many times did he do that to one person?
Multiple times.
That's what I'm saying. That's serial abuse.
The flip side is did she like it?
I don't think so.
They say no now, but you can. There's been relationships recorded in the past, not with myself, but
there's
with
people
others
that play rough.
I don't think this was. This wasn't
they give as good as they get. But bearing in mind,
I don't think this was a sexual thing. I think this was just because
not a very nice person.
No, I think because her friends were you need to get out of this relationship. It was an abusive relationship. I just think they say it's sexual assault because it might have happened a couple times during sex.
There was a court case already that was settled out of court. You said
maybe
from back when it happened.
I think it got settled. But if it got settled out of court, she's probably not allowed to go around in public and say shit like that.
It's been settled.
Yeah.
Once it's been settled, it's been settled.
That's what makes me think it hasn't something. It just kind of got swept under the rug.
Yeah, in some ways.
And also, here's at the same.
I don't know enough about T.J. Miller's personal life to say that maybe his parents stepped in, maybe they're wealthy, because a lot of times
we don't know.
Get away with shit.
Unfortunately, we just probably won't. We don't know, and we probably never will know.
I'm just saying,
I don't think you can write off somebody's career on a mistake.
Let me put it to you this way: that Kevin Spacey's crime doesn't make his acting worse.
No,
it just makes it difficult to watch because you know things about him.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying, but the other thing is with what Kevin Spacey was doing, he showed no remorse, which is what we said earlier. Mm-hmm. So he showed no remorse. So from that point of view, it's a bit different. Now, if TJ Miller is basically showing remorse and he's not very,
thus far from what I've seen, I haven't seen anything.
But you have to factor this in, like, if TJ Miller has never addressed this previously, so if he was really remorseful the things he done, why wouldn't he be open with it? You can't just be remorseful when you get caught.
No,
when you get caught, you can't just go sorry.
I'm not being funny, but then if I had a problem with somebody, I have a problem with that person. I don't have a problem with. I don't want to tell the world about that person. I want to deal with it with that person.
But that's the thing. Especially when it can come up with women and certain things, like that's it. It's such a difficult thing because, like, with the whole like Harvey Weinstein thing that was going around, like, who are you to out this sexually assaulted victim? Like, that's up to them what they want to do with their grief and how they deal with their problems.
Which is why there's more victims that haven't come forward.
Oh, of course.
They're not comfortable coming forward.
I get worried about, like, who's going to be my next fucking person that I'm going to have to start hating. And it's not a thing. Like,
honestly, I don't care who it is. If you've sexually abused people, if you've abused people, you don't need to be in my list of things that I'm a fan of.
Yeah, I don't want to be affiliated with that. I just don't. And it's, as I said, I was a huge fan. Kevin Spacey was top 10 probably for me. Like, I loved Kevin Spacey. Like, anything Kevin Spacey was in, I watched it. And I loved House of Cards. Once I found that out, I don't give a shit about House of Cards anymore. Now it just makes me really, like, watching American Beauty, it's creepy to me now. Watching House of Cards, it's creepy to me.
American Beauty
was creepy to begin with.
Creepy anyway.
But it was acting creepy.
But no, he was acting normal.
Yeah, that's what's even creepier.
So that's what makes it worse.
That's probably why he was successful in that movie.
Well, they actually have mentioned that it's like, why has Kevin Spacey always been really good at playing a fucking psychotic asshole? Because he is a psychotic asshole.
Yeah.
So it's just what Fox decides to do, it's just a tricky situation. It's, do you remove him? I mean, he got paid for it. It's not like you take away his paycheck. He's been paid for it. It's what's best for your movie, your business, and do you want this affiliated with your movie? And if you decide to remove a guy who's probably only in a total of 15 minutes of your movie and you want to switch him out with somebody else, it brings a little bit of attention to you, but it could hurt you because you're like, oh, well, you're supporting it's a very difficult situation.
Depends on the people watching the movie.
Yeah,
and it depends on how that. Because I mean, me personally, I don't idolise people. That's just who I am. I don't idolise actors. I don't idolise musicians. I don't. So I watch the story.
Yeah.
But I know some people do. Some people
doesn't take you out of it when you see like, if you see
I see the character. I see the character now.
Like when I see O.J. Simpson in Naked Gun, it's really weird to me.
Yeah, see,
like that guy chopped off someone's fucking head.
Yeah, no. See, I don't see that.
No,
I see the movie.
I envy that. I envy the shit out of that.
But that doesn't necessarily mean I condone what they do.
Yeah.
Because obviously, it's like things like take Michael Jackson. So
guy made Thriller.
Yeah,
and that's actually I completely agree.
Musically, and like there's music videos. Quite possibly one of the most talented people
I agree
that ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even now I like his music.
Same here.
I tell you, I can listen to his music all day long.
That's a good point because I'm actually the same way.
Him as a person, his personal life,
it's not a big fan.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
but I can't help.
You're able to separate the artist from the artist. the art from the artist.
Yeah, the art from the artist.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I look at. I hear what I hear and I enjoy that. And what I see on the screen, I enjoy that.
Why do I do in their own weird. Lives, why do I like I kind of see what you're saying because I kind of do that with music too.
I just spoiled Michael Jackson for you.
No, you never spoiled, but you can't spoil Michael Jackson for me.
You got to think about it this way: they never proved anything with Michael Jackson.
Yeah, but I totally believe that it happened.
So something slightly amiss. You don't pay somebody off to keep quiet when there's outside of court.
No,
if nothing,
I understand what you're saying.
Nothing happened. You just don't do that.
Like, I totally believe it.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Why can't I separate? Like, is
Chappelle
right where he just goes, "Nah, man, he made Thriller."
Yeah.
Like, it is weird.
You've got
because if what Michael Jackson did was true, that's like the worst thing you can do.
Okay, here's a scenario for you. If you've got somebody who's going to pass judgment on you, say you did something wrong, somebody passes judgment on you, they're your family. That they've got to pass like a criminal offence judgment. You know you've paid the offence, and they pass judgment. You're going to hate them because they judged you harshly on what you've done.
If I did the crime, I did the crime.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't fix what other people think about me.
But then you've got that. Now it all comes back to being judgmental. So if you judge somebody on what they've done and just go, do you know what? You're not very good at what you do, but as an actor, when you play those characters, the characters come up well. You play that part well.
But I think you're in the minority though, where you can separate the art from the artist. Like, I got a big problem with Roman Polanski because Roman Polanski never.
He ran away.
He ran from the U.S. government for raping and sodomizing a 13-year-old girl and got her drunk.
Yeah.
Now, while the girl has come out and said it's okay, I forgive him. I don't fucking care. Like, fuck him.
Yeah, you fucking ran.
No, you're a coward and you ran.
That there is what we call statutory rape.
Yes.
You're not old enough.
Yes.
You don't understand the ways of that at 13 years old. Not truly. He should have known better. That's different. That's disgusting. Anything to do with statutory rape.
But like Michael Jackson was kind of like in the same possible situation.
But again,
he gave them like Jesus juice and then was like diddling them.
Did he not stand and say, no, I did not do this?
He did stand and do that.
And he stood up for himself and he stood for what he...
OJ said the same thing,
though. But he did.
Dave Chappelle said OJ did it, and Dave Chappelle met him 4 times.
So, but then if you go and do something and you're not willing to face the music for what you've done...
Oh, yeah, Roman Polanski is a fucking awful person.
We'll come back to T.J. Miller. Has he faced the music?
I don't think he has, no. So he hasn't even addressed it.
He hasn't... What, publicly or privately?
I don't know what he's done. I can't tell.
Nobody knows what he's done privately because you don't know what happens behind closed doors. So to make a judgment call on somebody and their career on something that you don't know what's occurred behind closed doors...
That's true. You can never...
You can't just go, I don't want anything to do with that person anymore. You know, as an actor, as he has parts in all sorts of things, those are those parts. You can't spoil a movie by having somebody in it who's done something wrong in the past.
No, but it could, if it couldn't... Here's the thing, though.
You can, and here's why. You pay for that movie, he's getting some of your money. So you're paying somebody, you're rewarding somebody...
For their work.
But it doesn't matter. Their work is not separate from who they are. That person does that work.
Yeah. And they did what they did.
You shouldn't be passively supporting somebody just because we're unsure.
But again, that's...
But
lots of little things that can...
I mean, yes, to make an accurate judgment on anything, you need as much of the facts as you could possibly get. And I'd agree.
rather have a good actor
but here's the thing.
Place to play a good part than a bad actor who's done nothing wrong, who would be no good for that part.
But to be honest, I'd rather have the bad actor. I'd rather just have the bad actor because I don't.
Then the movie won't be any good, and there'd be no point in watching.
No, but it is only it's a small part. I understand.
Yeah,
like Louis C.K. got his whole movie pulled. They can save Deadpool 2 by just simply getting someone else to play the role.
Yeah.
It's not like you're recasting Ryan Reynolds in the role. It's a small part, kind of like how Kevin Spacey was. It's just that we haven't heard anything public about it, and now it's none of our business. Really?
That's the essence of it.
But at the same time, when the woman comes public about it, it becomes our business.
Maybe she's...
Because we are...
Oh, I've got some dirt on that guy over there, but you've got to pay me for me to be able to share it.
No, I understand. If that's an issue, that's completely fucking wrong.
Part of the facts. That's something that we need to take into account.
But at the same time, it's way past statute of limitations. No money can really be obtained from it.
I mean,
unless she's already come out publicly.
She could sell the story. What he's saying is that she could sell the story, but we don't know if she has.
Yeah, we don't know.
She may have. You don't know. So to
But
make
if she has, that does change
unless
things.
unless there's hard facts laid out in front of you with everything about the entire story, I can't see how you can judge a person not knowing everything.
I do, and here's why. Because if something else comes out that changes the facts, the facts that we know, then the judgment will change.
Yes.
Right.
According to you would reanalyze.
It's the same thing as if you were a jury in a court. I mean, that's the evidence that's presented to you.
You have to make a decision based on that evidence. You have to judge.
It's
human nature.
Now, like something comes out that says like, oh, she was beating him too, and she was throwing shit and she was being abusive to him as well.
She pulled a knife on him.
Yeah, maybe it was a joint abusive relationship.
If it was something like
that changed the whole thing. But right now, all I got is she's coming out and saying he beat me, abused me, kicked me, punched me in the face, all this stuff, and I have not heard anything from him since.
Okay. So, I could say this about either one of you on camera. I'll just use Adam as an example. Adam's beat me, he's abused me, he's punched me in the face, he's left me a mess on the floor, and he didn't care about me.
Yeah. Well, I'd be like, do you have any evidence to support that or any witnesses to the fact?
And has she had...
She has evidence and support.
She's had people watch him do this.
No, she had her roommates who saw her coming back with bruises on her face and bloody.
That's what I'm saying. She has people to corroborate her story.
She's not just saying it. She has people to corroborate.
With the evidence that is available, that's the judgment I have to make, is that T.J. Miller should be supported.
The other thing is when she was coming back to her room, was this while she was at college? Mm-hmm. Was she sober?
We don't know, but it apparently happened multiple times, so, I'm
sure. Some of the time she might not have been. Yeah. You're in college.
I'm sorry, but if you're going to willingly be in a relationship where someone's going to put,
It's not that simple.
It's not that simple. I think sometimes it's just you
get tied to it, and you you have that fear.
A lot of people in abusive relationships are afraid to leave. A lot of times the abuser will be psychologically manipulative, make them feel like they're not worth anything, nobody else would want them.
Why didn't their friends pull him on it?
They constantly were like, you need to this is, as I'm saying, this is only from what I've read in the last day or two.
You need to get out of this relationship.
That's what they were saying.
Saying it to their friend who won't get out of a relationship. Why not go to the source who's doing this and then pull him on it?
Because they're invading. I think if anything, they're invading.
They know that he's violent. How is he going to react?
That, or they're invading in something that's not their business.
There's that. But again, there's. For me, there's too many.
If we went back to the story about hey, if you were dating my sister and you beat her up, I'd fucking kill you probably.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
And then I'd get my charge on.
Where was that? Yeah, where was? Yeah, but you'd still come to me and say, "What are you doing to my sister?"
Yeah,
you'd pull me on that. Where was that? Where was that?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. There could be a thing. We don't know if there's police reports. We don't know.
There's a difference between consoling. We're going on a right tangent here, but
I know, but I love it.
There's a difference between consoling somebody and going, you just need to leave him. You just need to leave him. And there's a difference between saying, do you know what? I'm your friend. I'm going to stick up for you, and I'm going to go and see him.
Maybe they weren't real friends.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But they're also like women too. They weren't like men.
That's irrelevant.
That's very relevant if it's an abuser.
You've got 3 women come up to you. You're abusing somebody. You got 3 women come up to you, and they pull you on something. And what are you going to do? You're not going to sit there and beat all 3 of them up while they're coming in.
No,
if it was one of them coming,
if I'm playing the role of the abuser, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, my face. Fuck you. Get out of my business.
But if you get 3 of them,
mind your own business.
Start screaming in your face.
I feel like that's the typical excuse of mind your own business. It's none of your business. And then there could be, but we just don't know what this relationship was like.
There's too many unknowns for me personally to make a judgment.
But I
don't feel that way. Like I said, I feel like this is the judgment I've made now. It will change if new facts come out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I will not ever final judge anything until
all the evidence is there. Based on the evidence that I see, that is what I'm going to call.
But to turn around and say that I can't watch him in a movie, he sickens me now. From that point of view, without all the information there, I can't...
it is the unfortunate side that
I think
while I
that's
do
just more
believe in
people's
guilty,
moral reaction.
proven guilty
It's gonna
before
be different every-
proven
You're
innocent before.
You're innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, I understand that, and that's where it is kind of a difficult thing. But it's like when you have this story, it's like, I'm sorry, I have to side with a victim.
Yeah.
Now the victim could be fucking lying. I don't fucking know, but
if the victim comes out and we find out that they are lying,
that's fucking awful.
then
and
everybody
I feel,
changes and goes the opposite way.
Yeah. See,
and we all apologize for being wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just the way the world is.
yeah, it just kind of is.
As I say, I think
We'll move on, but go ahead. Throw in your final 2 cents here.
Yeah, different people, different views, different attitudes from different things.
So make us human.
But that is. Well, otherwise, we'd be robots.
Exactly. That's a good way to end that one. Now to go on to another controversial one. Race. So,
wow, we're really killing it today.
Oh, we're really killing it.
Yeah, race. There's loads of different races. There's no bad races. There's just bad people.
That's a very good statement.
I disagree.
You don't think there's just bad people?
Outside.
Yeah, let's go.
No. Here's what I disagree, because I just want to discuss this as somebody who's pretty pale.
We get feeling
like,
yeah,
we're all
pale.
we're all like, I'm partially of Native American descent, but I'm also of European descent. All three of us are of European descent. There really is no white race. That's a cultural formation used to oppress other races. So that's the only thing I want to get out of the way.
Okay.
There's no such thing as white people. It's a power structure.
Here's what I want to go into real quick. And so this is controversial podcast today. What a great Christmas segment.
Yeah.
Star Wars: The Last Jedi. I have seen it. Adam, you have not. Nathan, you were very excited, so we're avoiding any spoilers because he still has not seen it. But one of the things I want to talk about that needs really, really addressed and needs pointed out. And I've talked about him a couple times on the show. There's a podcaster I listen to every day. His name's John Campea. And he pretty much came out and was like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to say it. I don't care if I lose every subscriber that I have, every Patreon guy I have, anything. He says that I have to read so much vile shit every day from this small group of people. And you guys have seen it. There are a lot of people who do not like The Last Jedi. I was just talking with my roommate this morning. He doesn't.
Well, he actually hasn't seen it.
Yeah, but you can tell you've seen like people divisive on the subject of it.
Yeah.
But there is a very small amount. There are some people who, and I'll just almost quote verbatim for what John Campea said here. He said there's a small. He's like the group of people who hate The Last Jedi is not small. There's a good amount of people like it, but there's a very...
It seems like it's about 50-50, really, to be honest.
Yeah, it seems like you either love it or hate it, it seems like. But he says that there's a very small portion of the people who dislike it, and then there's a bigger portion. He said the bigger portion are people who just don't like The Last Jedi because it's The Last Jedi, and they just don't like it. That's fine. You can dislike it. It's a movie.
Yeah.
First and foremost. It's a fucking movie. I love Star Wars. It's a movie. The small part, though, are the people who are being assholes about it. Do you remember when The Force Awakens came out and everyone was like, why is there a black stormtrooper? Do you guys remember that small little thing around? Like, people were like, why is there a black stormtrooper? And everyone's all like, and there were some people like, oh, it's a clone, and how are their clones? But then they address that and they say that they're not clones anymore. So
yeah, they're actually recruited.
They're recruited from birth and all that. And then there were a small amount of people who were like, well, I don't really like this. Okay, fuck you. But so then The Last Jedi came out, and they have a new character named Rose, who is, I believe, Thai. I believe she's from Taiwan, but she's Asian.
That wouldn't be
descent.
Thai then.
What is it?
That would be Chinese.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it was my cultural relevance.
Yeah.
But she's from Taiwan, I believe. She might be Chinese. I don't know. But she plays the character Rose in the film. And there are people who went on Wikipedia and changed her name to Ching Chang Chong, shit like that. And there are people who I don't like this movie because
there's too many non-white people.
And that the Star Wars The Last Jedi is an anti-male agenda, and that people need to stop bringing politics. That's just the nature of the beast in this fucking country for some reason.
Yeah, I think it's a world thing. It's not just this country.
Well,
It'd be a world.
Well, no, yeah, because you have Britain first. We have the alt-right.
Yeah, we've it doesn't matter where you go in
Yeah.
the world. It's the race, creed,
But like we find
anything to do with race, creed, wherever people are from. At the end of the day, and it is true, at the end of the day, we're all human.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all human beings.
But people don't see it that way.
Who cares if you've got dark
We're
skin?
all red on the inside.
We all bleed the same.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's just this fucking mentality that like people dislike the movie because I'm telling you, go read some shit on like
After
negative.
we see it, I'll show you all this stuff.
Read some negative posts, and it's like fuck you.
Anybody who's racist is narrow-minded, small-minded, and insecure about their little world.
Yes.
That is it. That is it.
Yeah.
Who cares?
But then they sit there and they'll say shit like, "Why are they bringing politics into my Star Wars film?"
Star Wars is about politics.
Yes, it's
Well,
about
not only
politics.
that, but if you're gonna make it about there's a black guy or an Asian woman
That's
in
not politics.
that's not politics.
That's
You're bringing
racism.
politics into it, and you've got a problem with
that's
it.
Race. That's not politics.
They're the
that's
one.
race.
Yeah.
And it's in fucking colonized space. Like, there's not going to be more than one race
Yeah,
in space.
it's so funny because
I really hate the fish-looking guy over there. I'm sorry, I just can't deal with you being in my movie.
I can't
Please
deal with
remove
this.
the fish guy.
I have just this massive, like, I can't deal. Like we've discussed a couple times. I'm just very like not political. I really like avoiding politics as much as possible. It's not because I don't know what's going on.
Forcing its way into his life.
It's forcing it into my life, and I don't fucking like it. Why are we in this? Why are we in an era where we're like people are going on and doing racist rants on Wikipedia about an Asian character? Like, why the fuck does anyone care? Like,
why are people flying Nazi flags?
Yeah,
they fucking lost. Get over it.
Oh my god, it's just I can't deal with this shit. It's ridiculous, and I see it more. And it's not like I seek it out. I see it all over the place.
It doesn't matter where you go, you'll see it. There'll always be somebody
but it's
to say.
I know, but they're bringing it into my goddamn Star Wars.
Anytime I see that shit on the internet, I'm like, yeah, supreme race lost every war the only war that you ever fucking fought.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here with your supreme racial supremacy bullshit.
Yeah, but it's like. I love the anti-men agenda that they say the last three movies.
Main character.
The last three movies are female led. Like, yeah, okay.
It's the lead character.
Okay,
well, female.
Oh my god! What about the last 6 movies? They weren't anti-women because
it's because they're the people who are anti-women and anti-men.
How can you be anti-women? Like, women are the greatest. But why can't you be like, women are so great.
Maybe these people just like men.
Maybe, you know what, to be honest, maybe that's it. Maybe they're just...
Maybe they're just closet monsters.
Maybe.
That just haven't come out yet.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, you're just...
Who cares? Did she play the part well? Yes.
Yes. And I'll tell you right now, I mean, it's not a spoiler or anything. I don't really like what they did with the Rose character in The Last Jedi.
Okay, well, I don't know, because I've got no view on that. But.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't very happy with it. We just said, I wasn't very happy with the plot that they did with her. But she was fine. She was good. I like the character. I'd like to see more of the character. I love Finn. I love Finn. Finn's great. I think Finn is great. And
in Force Awakens, I actually thought he played a really good part. He's just nervous. He was like so.
He's like one of the most.
Like,
besides,
I just can't.
Besides Oscar Isaac, who plays Poe, I mean, I think Oscar Isaac is like one of the best actors currently working. But John Boyega is really goddamn good too.
But it's that first film is to me. It's like they're in a war situation. There's guns going off.
He's a rookie soldier.
He's a rookie,
and he's like,
and there's
when the bloody handprint goes on his face, and he's just like,
there is a degree of realism there.
Yeah.
He is struggling with something that is real,
and he's terrified because how do you get out of that situation?
If you were in a war, if you were on the front line and you were in that situation, there's probably people there now out in the Middle East struggling with that same thing right now.
There are people who struggle with that coming home.
Yeah, and dealing with, and then afterwards, dealing with it, and then not knowing what to do or how to be.
Yeah,
you've got that,
and it's just I just don't understand why you are judging someone based on what they look like.
Okay, if he wasn't a very good actor,
yeah, I'd say he's a bad actor.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's no different. Judge the person, not the face color or
yeah, but it's just these fucking assholes that are like bringing politics and bringing racism into Star Wars. It's like, really? You want to talk about first world fucking problems? You're bringing it in because you don't like that there's a black guy in your Star Wars movie. There's been a black guy in every Star Wars movie, but clearly you had a problem with them then. Yeah. Because they were just black. And it just drives me nuts. I fucking hate it.
We had a discussion earlier about Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So...
James Earl Jones, like the deepest voiced dude on the planet.
Playing the darkest character in a...
Literally.
In a universe, a fictitious universe. And then at the end of it, they take a mask off and it's the whitest, pastiest person you're ever likely to see. Yeah. You're like, well, that was underwhelming.
Well, at the same time, I mean, he was Luke's father. Yeah. I wasn't expecting Luke's father to be black, but at the same time,
I mean, that's possible. It's not possible. But
I thought the male determined the color of the skin of the child. I thought the male was what
there was a
sex male determined the sex of the child. So, whether
they don't determine. I thought it was dependent on the
chromosomes.
That's why I thought
We're going on a world.
Well, I know. I'm just spitfiring.
Do you remember the news story? The white British couple that had a black child because they had black in their genetic makeup, but it was generations ago.
Generations
resurfaced.
Okay, well that's my ignorance because I never knew. I always thought it was the male who determined the race of the baby.
Dormant genes that could come shine through later on.
Well, that's interesting. I never knew that. I always thought that it was I thought it was all male determined. No. Interesting. Okay, well that's kind of cool. I never knew that. But we'll not dwell on this much longer because, we're just going to move on to something that's not making my blood boil. But
we're all in the same boat. We're all in agreement with each other that do not be racist.
Yeah,
just love each other. Peace.
Yeah, can you just... Yeah. And I acknowledged it on the last show. About how if you're a Nazi, I don't want you listening to my goddamn show, and
fuck
and
off.
If you're a racist, I don't want you, or a sexist, I don't want you listening to my goddamn show either. So go fuck yourself. I want you to crawl back under your rock and just die there.
But if you're a nice, normal person that gets on with everybody else, you're welcome.
Yes,
I welcome people.
As I said, I love. We only have like 6 listeners. But I love the people that listen. Yeah. But I don't care if, as I said, if all 6 of them are like racist, sexist pieces of shit, I don't care. Go away.
Yeah. We'll record the show for nobody.
I don't really care. I got nothing to do on Saturdays. Like, fuck you. If my Saturday has to be me just saying, fuck you, racists, then I'll make it that.
Do you know what? That is the best thing. Because I back home, I mean, the same as it is here. We live in a mixed race culture. We've got Muslims, we've got Christians, we've got Buddhists, we've got all sorts of people living in London. Yeah. Back home, and you can't be narrow-minded. You just can't do it. And at the end of the day, you go up, you say you please, you say thank you, you have a chat with people. I've got people I work with who are Muslims. I've got nothing against them whatsoever. I've got people I work with who are black. I've got people I work with who are white. I've got people I actually directly.
I make a lot of routes. I make a lot of routes going around Pittsburgh and all that stuff. And I always have this like preconceived judgment when I see a Trump-Pence sign and I'm about to walk into this. I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I walking into? And that's on me. That's bad on my part. And you know what? Almost every single time, they're nice, generous people, and they have all mixed employees and all that stuff. And
because not everybody who's a Trump supporter
is an asshole,
aggressively racist. Yes. There's a difference between aggressive racism
and I wish that would go away. Too. I wish that they would go away, that everybody who likes Trump is automatically a fucking asshole, racist piece of shit. That's not true. I hate Trump, but I don't hate you because you like Trump. I hate you if you're a racist piece of shit. Or an anti-women bullshit. That's what I
think you're politically uneducated if you like Trump.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But that's your
different.
opinion.
I'm not going to treat you like shit
and that's your opinion.
A political moron. Most people are.
I have no words from this.
You love Donald Trump's Twitter.
I just think he looks like Ric Flair. I'm just going to leave it there.
Who's more orange? Ric Flair or him? That's a good question.
We might.
I'm gonna go Trump.
Pictures. I'm gonna think so.
I think what we need to do is not think who's more orange. But let's go to the local DIY shop and get like a paint code and find out what grade of orange he is. He's definitely a mild form of terracotta.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to.
You don't think that Ric Flair's tan is real though?
It's not real.
No, he's like
they're all greased up. They're all greased up wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, Ric Flair's is more like brown tan because of years of doing it. Yeah. Trump's just spray.
Years of Saint-Tropez.
Yeah. Like, his is dyed that color from doing actual tanning and doing booths and shit like that. I think
spray tan booths.
But I think Trump's is spray tanned. So it's a spray, unlike actually.
That's what I mean. I think Ric Flair's tan is a legitimate tan, is what I'm saying.
It is, but his skin is just
discolored pigmentation over the years.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jesus. Okay. Whew. That's exhausting. Do you guys feel exhausted after those last two topics?
No, I do this all day. So
I feel exhausted because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do this very often.
A lot of thought.
I feel like there's someone like pushing down on my shoulders right now. I'm like so like.
Yeah, you're feeling the world, buddy.
Whew, I had to take off my jacket because I'm like, oh my god, like this is driving me nuts. Okay, so let's talk about something else. Star Wars, where it's not racism, God, or beating women, or anything like that. Let's just talk about normal.
Let's just talk about money.
No, yeah, let's talk about money and the fucking monster that Star Wars is at the box office right now, because Star Wars, is currently 3 days ago crossed $500 million, and apparently
just this weekend.
That's just chump change.
Yeah. And apparently the Star Wars Last Jedi has plunged 77% at the box office. That's not that shocking. It's a little high, but at the same time, I mean,
most people will.
They actually have a lot of movies coming out that apparently, like the Jumanji movie, even though I have no interest in it, apparently is actually getting pretty decent reviews.
Sony's been advertising the fuck out of that movie.
Oh, I know.
They're everywhere.
I'll be honest, I probably will watch that.
Yeah, I know.
I think so too.
This isn't like Force Awakens where nothing came out for like 7 weeks after that movie. The only thing that was like close that could even touch Star Wars was Alvin and the Chipmunks Chipwrecked or Road Chip or something like that.
Chipwrecked.
The fuck?
That was the third Alvin and the Chipmunks movie. Was called Chipwrecked. And
I didn't know that. But...
Oh yeah, I wasn't just making that up. I think the other one. I think there's another one called Road Chip. But this one actually has some like
Chip
pretty.
Goes down.
I'm trying to see if they have a couple of the other movies in this box office report here of some of the other stuff that's coming out. Because I know that Jumanji is like a big one, and that's going to appeal to a lot more like kids.
I just thought of a good.
Go ahead, say
good title. All right, so think about like Alvin and the Chipmunks after they're like in their 60s. They're now doing like Las Vegas shows because they're washed up, and then like Alvin and the Chipmunk chips on the table.
Yeah. Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Good job on that one. Oh, and you also have you've Pitch Perfect.
You go see it. You know you would.
You've Pitch Perfect 3 also coming out, which that's pretty established franchise.
I haven't watched 1 or 2.
No, neither have I. But
I will not be watching 1 or 2.
But there are people that like it.
3.
So you had So here's all the stuff that came out. You had Downsizing with Matt Damon. You had a cartoon movie, Ferdinand. That's where John Cena's playing a fucking bull. You had The Greatest Showman with Hugh Jackman, was a musical. Pitch Perfect with, all the, people seem to enjoy those. And then Jumanji. So all those were coming out. And those are all really diverse. One's a musical. One's like another kind of musical / comedy. One's an action adventure movie. And then another one's another kid's movie. So it really like...
It's geared up for children.
Huh?
Sounds like it's geared up for children. Primarily.
Do you want to dip back into controversy real quick?
Not really, but go ahead if you want to.
Should we talk about how Matt Damon wants a pat on the back for not raping anybody?
No, please. No. No, we will not talk about that. But
all right.
You've at least got your mention in there.
Yeah.
So Star
Matt
Wars,
Damon,
though,
too.
it dropped
Fat
77% at the box office, but it still tops at $300 million.
We'll go back to the Team America thing. Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. Yeah, let's see. It earned a $24 million on its second Friday, and that's 76% drop from its $105 million opening. Now, I'm just going to say this. I don't even think Justice League cracked globally. I don't think has even cracked 650 million yet. And Star Wars is already
Justice League
that
was atrocious.
I actually didn't hate Justice League, but we talked about Justice League.
It was atrocious.
I haven't seen a single DC movie at all.
It
all
has.
the way through.
It was just
I
poor
didn't.
all the way through it. It was just poor. It's like, oh no, we can't do it. We can't do it. Oh, Superman, he's back to life. Oh my God.
I don't know why anybody was surprised that Superman was coming back.
Oh, I finally did see the CG though. It looked fucking terrible.
The CG mustache.
Awful. Why couldn't they? The thing that I didn't understand is how come they couldn't cast the guy who, like, for the Flash that they use in the
CW
TV
show.
Oh, they're separate universes.
Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah, they are. They don't have anything to do with each other.
That's what I find difficult. It's like you're watching a TV show and you think you can start seeing them coming into the movie world.
Well, it's like the same thing. Like no one had a problem with like Smallville, whenever that was on when like Superman Returns came out. Like no one really cared.
Yeah, I cared.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, I didn't. I mean,
Did you want the same guy playing Superman in the movie?
I just didn't think.
I wanted the guy who played Superman in the movie to play
Smallville.
In Smallville.
I just thought that
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
So,
I thought that they're two completely different universes. Like
it's the same though, isn't it? In essence, it's supposed to be the same universe, unless of course they go with the Flash and the multiverse, and they're
doing a Flashpoint, but the thing is, I don't think that. I just think that they're two separate properties, and they're like
it's a different product. It's a different product.
Yeah, one's done by CW, and it has that CW feel, and one's the movies, and it's just like not like the Superman shows never felt like the Superman movies, and the Batman shows never felt like the Batman movies.
The best Superman show and TV series was definitely Lois and Clark.
I agree. Fuck you if you don't.
I don't like Superman.
You don't like Dean Cain.
I don't like Superman.
Oh yeah, I'm not a big Superman fan either, but I do agree with you.
I still like the only Superman I like is the Superman animated show.
See, so. I don't.
Yeah. I like the Superman animated show. It's okay, but it doesn't hold a candle to the Batman animated series.
But
no.
But even then, if you want to talk about Superman movies, best Superman movie, Superman 1.
Ooh, I'm more Superman 2.
Okay, I hear that.
But I agree, Christopher Reeves. But at the same time, I don't think Christopher Reeves would work in today's time.
Well, they basically Henry Cavill was as close as they could get to a looky-likey.
Oh, see, I thought it was more a Brandon Routh from Superman Returns was a more looky-likey, and they played him like Superman in the 70s. And we all saw how Superman Returns kind of turned out, and like I like Superman Returns, but like nothing happens in that movie, and it's kind of boring.
Nothing happens in any of the DC movies, really, from the point of view.
This is why I don't watch them.
Yeah, so I mean, I like Justice League. Not Justice League.
Suicide Squad.
But only for one reason.
Yeah, I know you're
Margot Robbie.
Yeah, Margot Robbie is. We all have our celebrity female crushes.
Yeah.
But they're just insane.
The thing is, the film it was the Will Smith show. You watch it was literally the Will Smith show.
Okay, but
in that film.
Oh.
That was their fault for casting Will Smith.
Yeah, and
you remember I had a problem with that right away.
Yeah,
I have a problem with it because Will Smith seems to always want to demand so much from his roles, and I have a problem with that.
It's like I'm Will Smith. I'm in.
Same reason why he didn't want to be Django in Django Unchained.
I'm glad he wasn't in that.
No, I know, but
Because it
he
would've
he
ruined
was
that film.
he was originally wanted to be it, and he's like, I want to be the hero.
No.
And it's like, I want to kill the bad guy. And it's like, nah, that's not how this movie fucking works.
Yeah, Wild Wild West was proof.
Oh,
Wild Wild West.
To be fair, though,
was proof that he should not have been in Django.
To be fair, that was a movie promoted mostly through a good song.
Yeah.
Wild Wild West is a
What
dope.
is it?
I love that song. Come on, that Stevie Wonder beat. That's a great.
That's a great track.
That's a great track. I don't fucking care. But it's just
Well, the only good thing that was going to come out of that Will Smith casting was a Static Shock movie, and that's not happening. So that was a big fucking waste of everybody's time.
It was awful. It was just an.
Why is that why static?
You know how when he does a
Yeah,
movie,
he was trying to petition
he tries
that
to get his son.
Yeah,
into
and everyone
into a
said
movie.
fuck
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
But the Static Shock movie, they were talking about doing one, and then he tried to push his son into it, and then they decided not to do it.
Well, I still think that you have a shot for maybe a Static Shock in some form because they're not rebooting right now. Because one of the directors came out and said Gotham City Sirens is still on track. They're possibly going to do Flashpoint, and like they're not rebooting how I said they should.
Yeah.
Even though Justice League was a massive fucking flop.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
They don't think its total will even match Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange was a good film.
Yeah, I know, but Doctor Strange doesn't have Batman, Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash in it.
1 and 2 of the most popular superheroes.
Yeah.
Is Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man. Those are the 3 most popular superheroes.
And you had a movie that made a lot of good money, which people really went and supported Wonder Woman. So you had Wonder Woman in there, who it was just this year that Wonder Woman was released, and people really liked it.
That was a good film.
I didn't see it yet. I keep sitting there saying like I'm gonna see Wonder Woman, but I keep saying I'm gonna see it with somebody, and they haven't showed up to watch the goddamn thing yet. Yeah. So I haven't.
Waiting for Netflix and chill.
No, no. I just need. I'll go get the goddamn movie. It's almost about to, I mean, even though from what I heard, I just watched the animated Wonder Woman. Apparently, it's copy and paste from that movie.
Really?
But
yeah,
apparently.
It's
a story, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, it's
a good story.
It works. It works.
That's what I think they should do with this. I'm watching right now currently because I'm going through all of the DC animated movies, and I'm on DC Batman and Superman Apocalypse. Okay. And I'm like, man, that would be a really good way to introduce Supergirl, and would be a really good way to introduce Darkseid. And, like, it'd be really good. Like, I'm like, man, why can't they just copy and paste this?
Yeah, why can't they just follow the cartoons? You know, real life action.
Because they want to do something else, but it's like, you just did it with Wonder Woman, you had a massive success. Yeah. Why don't you do that with,
people like that. That's what people enjoy watching. Yeah,
well, it's like, at least use those as a centerpiece or something, because, like, I'm watching this animated movie, and I'm like, oh my god, did an hour and a half just pass? I'm like, holy shit, it's fucking over. But on, like, Batman v Superman, I looked at my watch and was like, when the fuck is this over?
Yeah, yeah.
So, and I like how it went from Star Wars to DC and their problems, but it is something that needs to be addressed. Is that how the fuck did you fuck up Justice League? I actually don't hate the movie. I actually don't mind Justice League. Like if I saw it on TV or something or on Netflix, I'd probably pop it back on. Like I enjoyed it for what it was. But nobody else, no one's supporting your fucking universe anymore.
The thing I enjoyed most about it all was the fact that the Flash was so clumsy.
You enjoyed that?
That just amused me.
Yeah?
I was just laughing.
Well, I think it's kind of funny because it's a guy who's like not really used to using his powers, and then he's told, hey, I got to do this bunch. I thought Adam doesn't give a shit, but in Justice League, one of the best parts in the movies is when the Flash is going to sneak up behind Superman, and Superman starts turning his head, and the Flash just like looks at him like,
yeah,
like really slow. Like I enjoyed that. I mean, to be fair though, I'm surprised Justice League, which I still say I think is a good movie, but I'm surprised it came out as well as it did with all the shit that went on behind the scenes. Yeah. All the half of it being reshot, half of it being filmed, but then being thrown out, and all the pressure that was apparently being put on Zack Snyder to release it in 2017 because apparently there's a report that comes out that says one of the CEOs of Warner Brothers wanted it to be released in 2017 so that he got a bonus check because if it got pushed back to 2018, AT&T is going to be absorbing Warner Brothers and they don't know if they're going to have their jobs. Like, that's all the background shit that's like, what the fuck?
The problem is when that's politics.
Yeah.
That's in-house politics on their front. You shouldn't rush movies on that basis.
Well, the guy just wanted apparently, it's rumored, but apparently he wants a bonus check and he wouldn't have gotten it if he didn't get it out by 2007.
Wouldn't have been as big had he not gotten it.
Well, he doesn't know he's going to have a job.
Yeah.
He gets his bonus at the end of the year.
Yeah, no, that needed more work.
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, Steppenwolf, the CGI in it is just very spotty.
But so did.
I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was eating up that last half hour.
Yeah.
Like, I fucking love that last hour.
Batman vs Superman needed more work. That was rushed.
Yeah,
it was like
Batman v Superman needed to cut half of that shit out.
Yeah.
It's oof, boy.
Doomsday in that was just like that was rushed.
I have so many problems with Batman v Superman. You should check this out. It's a good video. It's from a guy. His name is Movie Bob, and he has a 3-part series called. He normally does it called Really That Good, where he takes a movie that people talk about, and he says he does like 45 minutes of why he thinks it's that good, and he goes in depth and all that. And so he's like, I don't really like to do these, but I think it needs to be addressed. And he does it really that bad. And he does it with Batman v Superman, and it's 3 parts, and he talks for like half hour each video about every little bit that he hates about Batman v Superman. He goes from little bits.
He could do that for an hour and a half.
Oh yeah,
in total. But that's how long's the film?
Oh, about 2.5.
So, out of think about it, 2.5.
He talks.
Film.
He
talks
talks
for an hour and a half talking how bad that film was.
Yeah.
So it only leaves an hour of good stuff. That's
Maybe.
if he hasn't already covered it.
He almost doesn't talk about. He hates almost everything about it.
It's because it was awful.
Yeah, it is awful. It's absolutely awful. I almost picked up your accent there for a second. Absolutely. Like, I almost went through that. I'm like,
why do you think that is, though?
What?
I know why I think that is. I think Zack Snyder has no business directing movies at all.
No, I disagree. I
think he made 300 and Watchmen, and that was it.
I think that there is a place for Zack Snyder visually, but as a storyteller, he's really visually amazing. Because I'll tell you that Batman v Superman is visually good looking.
Looks good.
Justice League could have been if they had a little bit more time to work at it. But there's a spot for Zack Snyder because I think that Man of Steel is not that bad of a movie. I think its script is terrible, but I love watching it, like visually wise.
But again, we covered this earlier with computer games.
Yeah, if there's no
story shit.
It wasn't the story of Man of Steel. It wasn't the story of Man of Steel I had a problem with. It was the script. The dialogue is just awful in those movies.
That's the part of the story.
I know, but the story, I was like, Russell Crowe does what he can with it, but like Lois Lane is terribly written in that movie, and I just think that some of the talking just didn't feel right. Like, you had Kevin Costner doing really well in that movie, and it just like the tornado scene, just like what? I have a lot of problems, but I think that it's probably my favorite of the DC films because I haven't seen Wonder Woman.
Right, yeah. As I said earlier on, Marvel for movies
just kills it every time.
Yeah.
They're estimating Black Panther's going to be gangbusters right now.
I'm
they think the solo Black Panther will make more than Justice League.
Yeah,
that's
probably will.
I guarantee.
But then I think Marvel don't make very good series.
Oh, I was going to say their animated studio sucks.
Yeah, no. So basically, you've got DC should just stick to TV series. They're not gonna because they make money.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, if they keep on the track they're going, they're not
Marvel
gonna make much.
should just stick with movies, and I think that's.
I actually really look forward to the animated. I think Adam and I both really look forward to the the Netflix Marvel stuff. Yeah. Usually
I've not been impressed so far.
I
really haven't.
Oh, see, I love.
I'm not saying they're perfect.
No, they all have their problems.
Yeah.
Daredevil is good.
I think what they should do is cut out 2 episodes of each each series and stop making them 12 and make them like 10.
10, yeah.
Yeah.
They keep you wanting more as well.
Yeah, I think that they're saying,
There's
hey,
some
make
filler.
12 of
I
these,
can
and they
see,
make
like,
filler
there's
in
filler
every
episodes.
every season has filler.
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you could have made Luke Cage 10 episodes rather than the 12, and it'd probably be more well regarded because the last half of Luke Cage is awful. Once they got rid of Cottonmouth,
once they got Cottonmouth, which is like has been one of my favorite actors ever since seeing that, and they bring in Diamondback,
and
Diamondback
he was awful.
Plays like a '90s like crazy comic book villain very well, but the problem is he doesn't fit into the universe they've created.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't work with this down to earth Luke Cage.
At the end of the day, these are all comics.
Yeah,
they should be like comics.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that they actually literally just canceled Luke Cage, the comic book?
Yeah,
they canceled it, and unfortunately, they were like, why would you do that? It's such a beloved character. It's like, it didn't sell.
It's not, people don't buy comic books anymore.
No.
They're overpriced, and they're like 52 pages of
They are.
filler.
They're way overpriced.
I don't see why they can't do it, bring them out on Kindles and things like that.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have Comixology.
They don't have to print anymore.
Yeah.
So
Costs
are lower.
It's also just Luke Cage kind of works better. Well, I don't want to say that. Luke Cage works very well off of other characters, but I guess just there isn't a audience that just really like either the stories haven't been that good.
I think a lot of it comes back to like another generation.
Yeah,
you got the younger generation. They don't read comics anymore. They just watch cartoons.
Oh, I know.
So comic books will phase out. They'll just be old collectors, people collecting them, the odd one here and there. But everything's doing it. Music's doing it.
Yeah.
People don't collect CDs anymore. They don't collect albums. They just listen to it on Spotify or iMusic or whatever it is. So,
I mean, I collect some records here and there.
yeah.
See Taylor Swift back there.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit.
I'd say that. I would.
But yeah, it is kind of a...
He loves manufactured pop stars.
Yeah, we talked about it last week. I really like manufactured pop stars. Some of them I don't like, but...
My ex-girlfriend actually looked a lot like Taylor Swift.
You got her number?
Huh? Yeah, it's blacklisted on my phone.
Cool. Unblacklist it, throw it to me, and I'll start sending her Taylor Swift lyrics.
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. But it's your funeral. She's a nutter.
It doesn't matter. Just cross the ocean.
Yeah. She won't. You'll have to. She comes with a 7-year-old child in tow.
Ooh.
Deal breaker.
Yeah, that's kind of the deal breaker for me. I'm not a kid person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a big kid myself. I can't take care of someone else's kid.
Mm-hmm. Can you take care of yourself?
Barely. Just barely. But all right, I think that's probably where we can call it quits on the show today. Nathan, thank you so much for coming. It was great having you on the show today.
It's great being here.
Yeah. It didn't just show up. Adam brought Nathan along because he didn't want to leave him at home with nothing to do. And I was like, yeah, bring Nathan, whatever, who cares? And it was really good. I liked having
it worked out well.
Yeah, I love working off of you. I think you had a really good rapport here, and I thought that your opinions were really good, not shitty like I mostly think of Adam's.
Give it time.
Yeah. Oh, I've given it. How long have I known you, Adam?
Well, at least 5 years.
No, I meant mine.
Oh, you're... This was a good show. I was really happy with the show today. All right. You guys, Nathan, you got anything else you want to add real quick? Because, I mean, you're probably not going to be on the show ever again, at least it's the next year in Christmas time.
Come back.
Yeah,
unless you come back, we'd love to have you back on here.
I haven't really got anything. I've had a really good time. Cheers for having us here.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Adam, you got anything else you want to add?
Fuck Gadget Pie.
Yeah, you always fuck Gadget Pie.
We don't want to forget about that.
Yeah, fuck Gadget Pie. But all right, everyone, thank you for listening today, and until next time, farewell.